eat, sleep, game.
Controllers! Controllers! Controller time.
My name's Brayden Cole.
My name's Josh. Minix.
We are Eat Sleep Game.
Yeah.
Today we're doing a debate on the Super Nintendo.
And the Sega Genesis.
Now, the Super Nintendo was released in 1991, and for a long time the NES competed against the Sega Genesis, and it really held up its ground. So, what do you got to say about that?
It's black.
I can't see, the people can't see it, bro. There you go. Turn it upside down. Other way. There you go. There you go.
It's black.
So black is better?
Duh.
Okay.
Black is sexy.
Yeah!
I can agree with that.
Red Hot Lovers.
But it's not about what's on the outside. It's about what's on the inside. It's not the size of the boat. It's the motion in the ocean. You okay, bro?
There's stuff in here.
Like what?
I don't know.
It's a motherboard, dude.
Mother?
Alright, so basically, okay. You're killing me, bro. What are we doing?
I'm looking for the year it was made. Oh, okay. Sega Genesis Model 1 was made in the year 1989.
So, this was definitely far ahead of this, but not technically or graphically, because this had better graphics, better sound, and it had
32,768.
plus colors. This only had 512.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Here, dude.
Good.
I bet you $20 I could take my game out faster than you could take your game out.
I mean,
Like, hands off, put it on your knees. Okay, wait. Okay, what you want to do? I'm going to get this in this here. Hold on. There we go. Trying to get down there. Okay. Hands off. I guarantee, put your game in there tightly. Okay, I guarantee I could take my game out faster than yours. You ready?
32.
1, go. I totally got it.
32,768.
When I say go, you say it. You do it.
3, 2, 1, go.
How much damage are you doing, though? Because the Super Nintendo's got this. It's got this little push-up slot. And that's where I get my little snail dragon of a movement. One more time. Both count to 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. No, wait.
Wait. We're going on go or 3?
On go. Ready? Here we go. Both of us at the same time. 3, 2, 1, go. And, I say it's pretty damn even, so.
See, you don't need a fancy button.
Hey, but it's
all the
convenient.
youngsters
You're ripping your games out, dude. Almost literally.
And destroying every pin in the process.
I think that's actually probably what it's doing, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, it's got purple freaking buttons. It's got a nice little slider reset.
But it's got a sexy red strip.
That is pretty sexy.
Sexual.
It is pretty sexual. Mine's got Mario World in it.
It's got Sonic the Effing Hedgehog. Controllers! Controller time. Gonna look at the controllers of the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo. First off, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the Super Nintendo first. Show us that controller.
Okay. Alright. So basically what you got here is a sleek design of a controller. You got nice little Sparty size buttons here. They're very comfortable to press down, and they're very responsive and nice. And you got a nice directional pad here and 2 very soft start and select buttons made out of a type of rubber material. It's just very sleek and very nice. This was the first controller the Super Nintendo was issued with, and it's got bumpers here, and And after this was released, the Sega Genesis was forced to release its own 6-button controller because just some of the games couldn't hold up with all the action, like Mortal Kombat. It requires, in Street Fighter, it requires all these buttons, and it still uses the bumpers. The Sega Genesis only had 3 buttons and no bumpers. However, the Sega Genesis did have a nice D-pad, but that's hardly enough. It didn't even have a select button.
Good point. Alright. And here we have the Sega Genesis controller, the original 3-button controller. And like with the Super Nintendo, all the buttons respond great. They click every time you press them in, so it's not like they're sticking. Start button also, and then the D-pad is really nice, and it even has little icons showing you which direction to go, like if you want to go diagonally, and then your regular D-pad motions. And that's all there is to the buttons. It was a very simple design for a controller, and as you can see by the shape, it's very sexy. Very, very sexy indeed. I mean, you look at that. That's intimidation that you feel. You feel that? Yes. But, as was said before, there's also another model of the controller, but we're going by the original models. So, that's irrelevant. Anyways. Sexy black controller, Sega Genesis. That's all. Simple. To the point. It's a controller.
They're both 16-bit consoles. The Super Nintendo does a lot more stuff. And that's just something the Sega Genesis is going to have to deal with. I mean, it's just better. Had better games, and the ports that the Super Nintendo and the Genesis shared, I mean, were better on the Super Nintendo almost 100% of the time. And that's something you're going to have to deal with, buddy.
Though we can both agree that they're 16 bits, but the Sega Genesis proudly puts that right on the front to show you 16 bits.
But when you put the 32X on it, and I know we're talking about the old hardware, but when you put the 32X on it, that's a liar. That's a lion. That's a liar.
Doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. This is 1989.
Okay, this is actually 1991.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway. Also, graphics of the games in the Sega Genesis weren't the greatest, but you gotta think, with more color, that kind of dampens what the game looks like, in color-wise. Like, the colors on a Sega Genesis, being only 512 colors, those colors contrasted well with each other. Like, the reds on a green background, they were bright and vibrant.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, the colors popped out at you. It was, like, Sega just did colors better.
A lot of the time, the colors did look better on the Super Nintendo, so I agree with you on that. Because they had to resort, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I just thought it looked really
You
good.
couldn't tell. A lot of the times you couldn't tell that the Super Nintendo had more colors, and that's true. That's pretty cool. So they were doing something right.
Yeah.
And I have to agree with you that Sega did have some pretty cool games like Shining in the Darkness, like Restar, like fucking Wonder Boy and Monster World, like fucking Sonic. So, I mean, but you gotta be able to agree that this had freaking awesome games too, like Mario RPG, Zelda: A Link to the Past,
Yeah.
Metroid, Super Metroid. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so basically, it's up to you, the fans of Eat Sleep Game. Leave us a comment. Leave it.
Do it.